Hey guys, it's Kusi. Welcome back to the 5th episode of our mission to ensure Affliction's survival in a futuristic zombie apocalypse, while also trying to get to the pristine Mythic Plus rating of 2500 to achieve Keystone Hero, as well as timing at least one plus 20 key along the way. In the last episode, we made really noticeable upgrades to our gear, while also adding a new trinket with the insane whiff opportunity to our playstyle. On the other hand, by timing everything in our way, we took some big boy steps towards our goal of Keystone Hero by hitting a dungeon score of 2346 with the help of none other than Big P Francis.
The Holy One!
And yes, the P does not stand for Pope. While this episode once again plays between 2 weeks, meaning not only we are not done with the fortified Affliction raging setting yet, but also got the vault to open, and we will attempt plus 20 keys on not only the current week, but also on the coming tyrannical setting. So I'd recommend you to grab yourself a drink, get comfy, and enjoy the final push of our Zero to Hero Affliction edition. Alright, so while I was saying last episode that we will attempt more 20s until KSH, we will continue this episode in the same week as we ended our last. So, a quick recap. We are still dealing with Fortified, Afflicted and Raging, which means we still have to play 2 affixes our boy Girth can't do shit against. But we do have damage, and let's be honest, because Trash lives a lot longer and bosses don't, this will be the only week where we matter to begin with. So the first key in our hand, and yes, I did lower mine to that, is an 18 at Haldazar. I've heard this one is more or less on the easier side to play this season, but the real bad experiences I had in there so far would tell me otherwise. Specifically, the last boss seems to be like a massive pain for me to enjoy, while as a melee, you easily just YOLO around and do your full rotation, no biggie. While this dungeon started off with a Bloodlust, a Trash pull and, well, some confusion on why we pull so much extra trash on this side, but I've come to the knowledge to just let the tanks cook, because as DPS, I don't plan the route, I just rail everything he does eventually pull. Even though this pull went so horrible that I did a kussy and tried to bitch out while calling for a reset, I guess I didn't let them cook after all. 14 deaths later, and it turns out we will continue on this side, which I remember I got shit on my Guardian Druid on Tyrannical Week, just saying. Yet slowly but surely we made our way to the first boss without any further casualties. Taking good care of the priestess, we continue our trash thrashing downstairs when all of a sudden our hunter got ass blasted by multiple fireballs, slightly massaging his face, and the internal child in me laughed when I realized that he ran the entire way around to catch up to us, just for us to clear the shortcut once he was almost with us again. You love to see it. On Rizan, nothing mentionable happens, besides our hunter again biting the dust, courtesy of the T-Rex. Thus we continue our way to the third of Yama's disgusting bodyguards, to eventually leave her wide open for us to finish the deal. And because this boss is absolutely in my head, to the point that I know I will die one way or the other. Yeah, I forgot those mirrors drop puddles. Cool, but hey, having people that can potentially CR me was a master plan, so I get another chance at glory. Ah, Even with this massive time sink early into the dungeon and then pretty much formatting the final boss, we still 2-chested this one, and even though I was clearly the shitter in this dungeon, I got nothing. That's weird. But I did get the Galakrond's Fall 20 for this one, and because I didn't do any of those for a while, I was really keen of getting it done. The potential big boy stuff upgrade from there would also be a nice touch to the series. But first, I had a thorn in my eye, and this one was the big brother of Galakrond's Fall. I desperately needed a Mirror's Rise key for score, so I applied like a maniac. Till finally, I got invited into a plus 16. And well, you wanna know how this one went? This was our only death. And because this hunter was on some mad catnip, we finished this one clean for a big chunk of 77 score. No item, but our monk got the mount token, which I obviously stayed in a group for to witness. The Mechagon Peacekeeper. I had no idea how to get this bad boy, but turns out it's a boss drop from Mechagon, so I call it a W and move on. Now, the earlier mentioned attempt on this plus 20 Galakrond's Fall. And right in the beginning, I could tell that I will like this tank. Instead of skipping the start with the mass stealth from the rogue, he rather wanted to pull with lust, and you ain't have to beg me to throw my stuff in there. Hopping over 800k for the second time this week, it just feels so damn nice. I can't even stress that enough. But then again, boss damage sucks. But unfortunately, I can't pull the boss damage sucks card every time, because here, it was clearly me that sucked. I mean, yes, the healer did dispel me on the slow zone, but I could have done so much not to just die there. Rip Bozo. So we did have 3 gamers with enough space in their backpacks for the 2 of us, so we were able to continue still on a good time. And even though the final rogue skip didn't work out, because our healer added some thrash, that would have been really annoying if we wouldn't have a warlock with the summoning stone. But then I got hit by Earth Surge. And then Chromie died. So we had to pull the thrash regardless. Sucks to suck. Yet with still 8 minutes on the clock, we have a shot to time the still. No more sucky plays. At least I'm not allowed to screw up, since I'm the only one with the CR. Fortunately, I wasn't the one who messed up during Earth Surge this time, so I was able to rest the man, and we finished the switch for 28 more score for an overall of 2480 to end this week. Alright, so let's talk reset. Let's talk vault. With this week, the Dragonflight dungeon event came back, which means we will receive an extra item after completing 4 mythic dungeons, which we are going to do anyways. But since I'm like a little kid at Christmas morning, I'm not gonna wait for that. Yet before we do that, let's check what the first vault of the year gave us. To quickly give you an idea, we got 3 normal raid slots, as well as 2 dungeon slots with myth track items in it. So arguably, this is our fattest stacked vault yet. Unfortunately, 3 out of 5 options were pretty much garbage. So my decision was between non-set legs and non-set chest. Considering my chest piece is a lot lower than my legs, I went with the chest to eventually catalyst that to tier set whenever I get another charge cooked up. This means even though it's a big upgrade, I can't use it for this week. Here's Batman. Next on our weekly to-do list, we quickly rushed through the Ruby life pools 4 times to quickly get access to the promised heroic item from our weekly. And who would have thought we actually got an upgrade? Well, sort of. Considering this is only a main hand, and that would be a problem, but because we got this beauty with the juiced up haste mastery stats from our first plus 20 key, we are packing the necessary heat to make use of the obtained item. I even gave it a quick sim in order to check if the new weapon combination outweighs the big staff we got in our first week. And it does, so that's something to be cheerful of. Now, as you remember, a dungeon score of 2480 to our name, which means we only need 20 to go. And your boy wouldn't be your boy if he took the easy route. So I quickly gave it a warm-up key, in which we will quickly go over this week's affixes as well as my talent choices for this week. Slightly testing, slightly copying from Raid.io. Now, this week's affixes are pretty easy to play. We got Tyrannical, which, as you all know, means that bosses will live a lot longer while hitting even harder. Sanguine will spawn a puddle of blood whenever a mob dies, which got so insanely nerfed that it's almost non-existent anymore. Volcanic lets little farts spawn from beneath range players that will knock you up and just try to annoy you. But their range is pretty small, so usually one sidestep does the trick. So I'm telling you, besides the bosses, this is arguably the easiest streak in a while, from my own humble evaluation. Now, I was scheming the other day to potentially swap out Doom Blossom for Dread Touch, just simply to boost the single target this week. Doom Blossom was pretty much about 10-ish% of my overall damage on last week's run, but Trash dies so damn fast that this obviously will decrease the overall damage, but enhance the single target by a significant amount for sure. I also swapped out Haunt for Tormented Crescendo just because I wanted to. And you tell me, but it feels like it works. Now, besides some boss fights, you can imagine nothing really happens anymore in the plus 13 for us, so I'd say we just end this bitch with a bang. And continue to do the fun stuff. Because Blizzard hates me, I yet again obtained a Throne of Tides key, but this time from my vault. So plus 20 it is, and I decided to stop running away from this, even though I was legit already on my way to lower to 18. But not today, missy. So I assembled a flipping unit of a party for this one, knowing that Affliction really sucks ass in most of the boss fights in here. The first boss, as per usual, was a real pain to play. The extra volcanic movement in the intermission phase made this hilariously annoying to play as a range, considering I already need to walk so much in there, meaning I couldn't even get out 3 casts before all the small Murlocs died. But to be honest, that's why I snuck in a Fury Warrior in here, so he can just pop his stuff whenever the intermission is around. Work smart, not hard, kids. I thought the second boss may be up my alley a bit more, but after peaking on around 200k for a little bit, I fell off the hard way as well. Meaning I yet again moved down to the low DPS duty of tap targeting those little wonky blobs for our safety. But hey, at least I'm going to be useful on the third boss. if I actually would have done what I needed to do. You see, I wanted to change my Fellhunter sacrifice to the Imp sacrifice for the Dispel, cause this Flame Shock is no joke. Turns out, I used my 3-minute Fel Domination cooldown to just summon the Fellhunter again to sacrifice it, which I didn't realize right away, leading to me having to hardcast the damn Imp for further usage. That was a rough fight for me, and I think you can tell by this. But yeah, considering we didn't have any big mess ups, we got over 7 minutes to time this one, which I consider the most annoying key this season. Yet our puzzle placement... Oh man, no lust and only 3 minutes remaining. This is a rough setup. But we didn't yield, so we went again and our gameplay with the puddles improved a lot. Well, until this happened. Volcanic did me dirty and we had 30 seconds to get rid of this disgusting flashlight. No CRs. Five seconds left on the clock and this party held it together. What a rough timer, man, considering we only messed up one time compared to those dungeons like Black Rock Cold or Doti, where you can just YOLO half the time and still make it. And of course, we are missing 4 rating. That's rough. I thought we can finish this challenge strong with this asshole of a key, but I guess there will be more. Yet, I felt a bit defeated. Sucking on every damn boss fight in this dungeon had me boiling internally, and I decided to leave the final dungeon in the hands of RNGesus by just joining someone else's party. Darker Thicket, a key I only did on 13 on Tyrannical, was chosen to be the final puzzle piece that is this journey, and the first boss, well, let me tell you about this one. As Affli, taking care of those ads is really annoying, because you need to use about 29 globals to get all dots on them while keeping them on the boss too. So if you happen to have a Fury and a BM Hunter in your party, you would assume that those take care of them ads. Turns out no, because our warrior was more busy taking those hairy bear nuts to the face. Wise. I eventually ran for so long that the ads decided to go annoy someone else and we finished it in the end. Nothing of importance happened afterwards, leading us to simply 2 chests this run, which got me a 16 rating, but because the KSH achievement didn't pop up, I thought this wasn't enough. I simply forgot that Keystone Hero is a once per season account-wide achievement, and since we already done it on the Guardian Druid this season, we unfortunately didn't get the endorphins this time. But with that, our story of making Affliction a viable contender for Warlock Spec of the Year comes to an end. Thank you guys so much for all the incredible support you've given and shown me since the start of this specific challenge. Never would I have dreamed of so many people being interested in the least played spec this game has to offer. You guys absolutely rock, and I hope you will enjoy the next series just as much, if not even more than this one. In the meantime, make sure to check out the Guardian Zero to Hero playlist that I will link in the top right. And as always, I wish you the most fantastic day whenever you see this, until I will catch you very soon in the next one. Peace.